Hi, I'm Eric Franklin, and today I'll be taking a first look at the Asus Transformer Pad TF300. For Android tablet fans, the Asus Transformer Prime represented that moment when they could say to their iPad 2 toting buddies, hey, I have something thinner, lighter, and at least on paper, more powerful than what you have. Still, the Prime had some GPS issues, and its Wi-Fi speed wasn't quite as high as some expected. Also, starting at $500, it wasn't cheap. Enter the Asus Transformer Pad TF300. The TF300 starts at $380 for 16 gigabytes of storage, comes with Android 4.0.3 installed, replaces the Prime's metal unibody with plastic, thickens the body a bit, lowers the speed of its Tegra 3 processor by 100 MHz to 1.2 GHz, and removes the flashlight from the rear 8 megapixel camera. Also, we don't get that super IPS mode I enjoyed so much on the Prime. Those are the major changes, but let's get into the details. The TF300's body is slightly thicker and slightly heavier than the Prime's, and overall doesn't feel quite as high quality as the Prime with its sturdier, sexier metal body. However, it still includes micro SD and micro HDMI. Both the volume rocker and the power lock buttons are slightly more prominent, and there's a headphone jack, microphone pinhole, and an ambient light sensor. The back now has these fine grooves to play with, and the speaker, now covered by a thin grille, sounds more powerful. The tablet retains the 1.2 megapixel front camera and its 8 megapixel back camera, although it loses the LED flashlight. That didn't stop the rear camera from taking even more impressive pics than what we saw on the Prime and recording smooth 1080p video. 1080p video from outside sources ran without a hitch. Software includes Asus's useful assortment of custom apps like File Manager, App Locker, and App Backup, among others. For an extra $150, there's of course the keyboard dock attachment, which the TF300 easily slides into. The dock has its own battery, a touchpad, a full-size SD slot, and a full-size USB. The keyboard still feels a bit cramped for my giant hands, and the buttons are a bit smaller than I would like, but most people will probably feel comfortable typing on it. However, this isn't the same keyboard that the Prime used, and the TF300 isn't compatible with the Prime's keyboard. It kind of fits, but doesn't really fully lock in. I really like how responsive the 1280 by 800 screen was to swipes, and navigating has that great 60 frames per second smoothness that I really appreciate. Asus unfortunately removed the super IPS mode, which allowed the Prime screen luminance to get really bright, which helped when using the tablet in sunlight. The TF300 screen is still bright enough though. Riptide GPs seemed like it was running close to 60 frames per second with the Tegra 3 enabled screen splashing effect. However, I'm disappointed there aren't more games taking advantage of the Tegra 3's quad-core architecture. Web and app load speeds are slightly improved over the Prime, but not quite as fast as what we saw on the iPad. The TF300's design isn't as thin or sturdy as the Transformer Prime's. You also lose the rear camera flashlight, and the screen isn't as bright. You do get roughly the same overall speed with slightly faster Wi-Fi performance, a better performing rear camera, and an actual GPS feature Asus can openly tout on its spec sheet. The TF300 doesn't lose much and actually gains in a couple of areas, and at $380 is currently the highest value full Android tablet on the market. Be sure to check out my full review for more details. Once again, I'm Eric Franklin, and this has been the first look at the Asus Transformer Pad TF300.